Calling the meeting of the Newbury Historical Commission to order at 7:09 p.m., September 23rd. Start out with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Short meeting.
Juan, you're taking notes, I heard?
Yeah, I told you.
All right, so take the quorum. So I forwarded a memo to Jan about quorums. I didn't realize that our quorum number is based on our total numbers of seats.
Members.
So if we're a 7-man board, then we need to have 4.
If all positions are filled, right?
No, even if they're vacant, in order to have a meeting, we still have to have 4. It's not based on how many members we have, it's how many members we potentially have.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Right.
So, all right, so we just always make sure we have these 4.
So we got 4, yeah.
Let's just look this from my side.
All right, everybody has minutes from the previous meeting in front of them. Give those the once over. That would be the meeting, minutes of the meeting from July 8th, 2021.
I make a motion to accept those minutes.
Okay, Eva on the motion, I hear a second.
Second.
Second on Rich.
Question.
No, discussion.
Discussion. Sign at the falls. Shannon reported the old sign has been removed. Hasn't the new one been installed?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
I will cover that under old business.
I just wanted to make sure because I authorized payment. Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, Lon. Okay, what's next? Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. Hang on, I'm gonna unpack my.
Been a brisk summer here.
So,
Okay, I've got a treasurer's report. I just had to find the staff. It's in. Here we go. Okay, treasurer's report. Okay, not much has changed. I have seen that the money for the sign has been transferred over to our FY
Okay.
2022 account. And I authorized payment, and I haven't seen a payment yet. But that will, so we've had money transferred over, and that brought us to $663.47, more than our $1,800 normal annual budget.
Okay,
But it's a commitment immediately, and it'll go right back down to 1,800 as soon as they make that payment. So it's funds transferred from last year.
so do you think, how, can we see it live time? Or, I mean, he was asking me for the money the day after he put this
I
in.
know, and I stressed that when I dropped off the.
So she's got all the paperwork.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
All
don't
the
know.
approvals, I even had to track Jan down to get that last signature, so.
Well,
I could check to see what's.
maybe you try
going on.
ringing her or send her an email,
Okay, yeah.
because the sign came out nice and we want to
Yeah,
get him paid. We don't want any.
it does look good, I noticed it when I drove by, it looks good.
Okay, I'll check that out. The gifts and donations account, we've deposited another $50, so we've got a total of 220 deposited now. I put 70 in earlier, and that brings the balance to, if I can find it, $1,887.65 for the remainder of FY 2022. The special article fund hasn't been touched this year yet, so its balance remains the same at $456.67. Including commitments for the porta potty and other known things, we have a effective balance of $6,544.32. And if I go to the town's books, it would say we have $7,144.32. So we have obligations as far as available money.
Okay,
And that's
good.
it.
Good. All right, website report.
Yes. For the most part, I talked to my cousin who's actually going to school right now for stuff because she decided during the pandemic she's going to redo her life. And so I was like, Rachel, help me look at this for a while. She thinks we need to scrap it eventually and start over. Kind of like what we were kind of originally said. And so I was like, all right, before we then like find somebody to pay for it, because I kind of like joked through around, I'm going to take this on as a project, and she's like, no. I think for the most part, we could probably redo it ourselves, but I don't think the computer I have right now is good enough to do it, because I started trying to do it, my computer's like outdated. So I'm trying to convince my husband to get me a new computer, and then I'm going to do a swing at it. If I do a shitty job, then I think we need to get somebody to pay for it.
Well,
I think I can
if we
do
just,
it
if we
if I
just
just have
update a
stuff.
bunch of the photos.
Well, that's what's like, and I'm gonna say, you need to start giving me photos, and you must have some at home. I need to start collecting them
I
from
was supposed to
people.
bring
Of
a bunch
what?
of
And I know one's done it, so that's why I'm like,
Okay.
Do we have,
put them in your computers, just transfer them on for me, so then I have them. I don't think you have any yet, but if you do, let me know.
what about Atkinson's?
I probably have 1,000.
I have those, and that's why I was like, I was gonna try to start uploading it to the
Yeah.
website, and it was just becoming such a pain in the ass, and I was like, all right, this is where I realize now that like, we really do probably have to rebuild it versus me trying to like wedge things in the
Yeah.
way it's
And do
kind
we
of
know what we
coded
might
now.
find at the library when we meet with them? I mean, is their archive got a bunch of photos or?
I think at that point, that's where we have to start scanning stuff. We've had this discussion ad nauseam before, where we have to like sit somewhere and do it. It's just a matter of like, whose machinery do we use? Where does it go? And that's why it's like, I'm gonna just start collecting all the things and putting it on one big, like portable drive. And then that's gonna be all our cloud basically. And then I'll give it to him and then he'll upload it all to the town. Because he basically was like, collect it all in one spot for me so then I can upload it.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm trying to do.
backup for sure.
Oh, 100%. But I don't want it to be like on everybody's computer. I want like, everybody can have their copies, but then just like give it to me and then I'm gonna put it on us and then that's gonna go to him. But that being said, I have no problem once we get that to do it.
So keep in mind that the website runs through Yahoo.
Right.
Still.
Well, that's what I'm gonna work off of with Matt
So-
IT and doing it that way.
So,
It doesn't have to, we could switch that if that's a pain, but we pay.
We already
for
have
right
it,
now.
yeah, and that's why I figured we already have it. We can work off of that. It's just a matter of like, we're realizing now that we're really at the limited level of like, I can go in and add names and tweak things left and right, but to like regenerate it, it's becoming.
so when we went through the library drawers 5 years ago, most of the photographs that were in those drawers of any interest, Chris had already scanned.
Do we not know where those are? Do we know where the
You know,
images?
there's no digitals. So, well, it's on the website.
Right.
So you can lift them
Well, that's
off
where
the
I'm
website.
gonna try to pull as much as I can off the website. Some things might have to be,
Right.
resourced
So
depending on how they
there was
look.
nothing from Chris left for us to use, so you can lift the stuff off the website.
Yep.
And when we were in the drawers, we recognized a lot of the pictures from the website.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there was a lot of news. There's still a lot in there.
What's, other than the purpose of meeting with them, what are we doing about that? I'm probably skipping to different
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll get to it.
Well, and would you just make note to change the,
Is there something you've seen that I need to tweak? Yes. Let me know.
yeah, the times we're open. We're not, well, according to the website, we're not open on Saturdays. No wonder I don't get anybody. I mean,
Oh, it doesn't say it on the website?
It says we're closed.
See, I need to like,
I
I
took
look
the Saturday.
right through past these things and don't like notice where there's a little
We actually
mistake.
had 6 last Saturday.
Did you really? All right, I'll check that link.
I had
Yeah.
a whole group on Sunday.
Well, that's good.
I mean, a bunch of people, 6, 7, something like that, yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the fall's more,
I do too.
people are out.
There's a lot of people
Antiquing.
traveling right now, plus a lot of people come to Salem right now.
Yeah, that's what I
And
mean.
then they spread out. The Essex has been mobbed,
Well, that's good.
so
Yeah.
you should liable to get overflow here.
Sweet. All right.
And what a, no, I gotta keep
Oh, and
staying
I'm on
over.
Sunday for Jan.
Are you on?
But yeah, so I just want to keep collecting
Sure,
things.
that's
So, I'm hoping that when we go to the library, that ends up, hopefully, we get some more stuff. Because I'm all about, Jack Bicky. I want to like give him a bunch of discs and have him,
Oh, yeah.
he's got a ton of stuff.
So, yeah, the only thing I have is the photographs of the Mill Foundation.
It's all right.
So I'll get those to you at some point. All right, that's website. Correspondence. Got a letter from the Pink House people, support the Pink House. Thanks to the Chairman Howard and you, as well as the members of the Newbury Historical Commission for composing this letter. We CC'd you, but just confirming that we sent a hard copy of the letter via you as post office and an email version to Mass Historical Commission and to the response package that we've sent in. To mention, we have sent a few weeks previous to our last meeting. We will now wait to hear, and we are prepared for several aspects of the project to resume moving forward within a week or two after Labor Day. Hope everybody enjoys the sunshine weekend. Rochelle Joseph, President.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any correspondence for tonight?
I did talk to the sportsmen, but they asked me to attend their monthly meeting, which is the first Wednesday of the month. To do the
That was
haystacks.
this hay, right? Yeah.
Yep, so that's the haystacks.
So I'll go to that meeting Monday, the first Monday of the month.
Isn't there like
First Wednesday.
a
of the
big
month.
hay problem this year?
Yeah, Massachusetts doesn't produce enough hay to begin with. And
Yeah.
this year's
It's
bad.
really bad.
It's really
I've been
bad.
hearing people talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into new and old business after election of officers. So every year after we're appointed, we need to make sure we have a full slate of officers, which is just the 4 seats, the chair, the assistant chair, treasurer, and clerk. Lon, can we keep you as treasurer, please?
If somebody's dying to be
I was
treasurer.
gonna say you're real good at it.
Well, I remember to.
Jan's in for clerk unless somebody else wants the position.
Who am I
I'll-
missing? Are you gonna stay chair?
I'll stay chair unless somebody eagerly wants to do it. The only thing we have open is assistant chair, so I don't know, one of you 3
I
needs
mean,
to do it.
You probably don't want to. I'm say you know more things than I do.
And you
I like
know,
that
it's not-
research.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I like the
I'll push
research
this way.
aspect of it myself.
So,
Assistant chair, sounds
Who
fancy.
took it?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Fancy.
okay, so I think we need to vote on it. So, Will somebody make a motion to appoint Rebecca Fuller as assistant
Somebody
chair?
that's not involved.
I move that we appoint Rebecca Fuller as the assistant chair.
Are you a second?
And all the
Thank
rest
you.
of us.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Lon's gonna record that, get that
Yep.
chairs out of the way. So next year, we're supposed to do it the meeting right after we get appointed, so everybody remember that.
When do we get appointed?
Like,
A couple of weeks before town meeting.
right?
Okay.
When was that?
May?
Yeah, ish. I
It's
can look at my
May.
emails. Yeah.
But we have
Things are
to go
blurred.
into the office, right?
And you like sign your name
Yeah,
in the book.
yeah.
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 So that's early
Swear in,
spring.
whatever they call it.
So, yeah, so that, okay, all right, old business. I've got notes everywhere here, I'm not gonna do them in any particular order. Old business, lawn, we were just talking about the treasurer's report. We said that you're gonna work on getting 2 folding tables.
Yes.
So that's on,
Oh, 2, I didn't know that, I knew I was gonna get 1.
I think 2 would be appropriate.
Was this in Jan's?
This is Jan, she has to carry it here every time.
Yeah. We could easily have one here.
Oh, that's what she was doing when she.
Yeah. And she dropped off.
She dropped off some
the light.
stuff for last night
I
and
should
she was
text her.
here.
She said,
Oh, she should have told her to come and help her, she should have said. Oh, God. I'm in my meeting.
Okay.
That's right.
Has anybody followed
Oh.
the 200 chain, the email about the
Okay.
library meeting? Have they finally set a date?
Yes, I have it on my phone.
I think it's 5th.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
And
October.
5:30.
5:30 tonight.
It's pretty early. I remember
It's
thinking,
been
all right,
recorded.
let's, make sure to get dinner done early.
I know, I have a birthday party that goes that night.
Figures.
My daughter.
Can you?
And so they just want
Okay.
us to like go over the
Yeah.
room with us and stuff, basically?
No, we're being called to the room, we have no idea.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
very interesting. So, everybody wrote that down. Lawn,
Yep.
October 5th.
Sorry.
Meet at the
meeting
library.
library. What did you say, 5:30?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
early.
What's the story?
That's the,
Meeting
because
with-
library, they're
Library directors.
Archival meeting.
they're asking us.
Oh, okay.
Other old business. So speaking of fall, is there no sales and trails? We haven't heard anything from sales and trails this year.
I didn't hear anything this
Well,
year.
yeah, we didn't do it last
It's going on. but
It
Yeah,
is?
it's going on, we just didn't
Yeah.
sign up.
I saw it in the paper today, or
We have
yesterday,
to
whatever
sign
it was.
up.
Oh,
Well, just to get on the calendar, when we were doing it as a event all weekend, we became part of, we had to have meetings and stuff, but just to be on their calendar that we're open.
Then
Well, we usually, well, a lot of times we stay open longer
Yeah.
on that weekend.
Yeah, I usually do.
Yeah.
I don't even know what weekend it is. I know if you'd like. I just have to look it up, Sales and Trails.
Yeah, if you wanna, just our hours and make sure we're staffed.
Yep.
Okay, that's on your plate. Other old business. Okay, we just covered the library. Has everybody done their Mass Historical Survey?
Yes.
I haven't.
Done.
I actually went to look for that. Was that in I couldn't figure out what the email that was in. Do you remember? It was in the email from Jan. I gotta look for that again.
Look for I sent it out again with the link.
Is it in that? I'll look. I remember seeing your
The night after the
reminder.
meeting,
Yeah.
I did it and then relinked it
Okay.
that night.
And they have the copy you sent us. I have the, might have it on there.
It's not painful, it's fine.
It's like a quick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to it.
I'm lately just fighting my children to get on my computer so I can do things. So, all right. Oh yeah, and then she sent out a bunch of historic preservation meetings and stuff. I want to look at a couple of those. Were most of them Zooms,
They were.
right?
They
That's
were good.
exciting. Yeah.
They look like they'd be, very informative.
Okay, sign at the Falls on Central Street is back up. The new sign looks good. Everything is good there, that's done. Has anybody, I haven't seen, as far as the town hall, anything, Old Town Hall?
I haven't
Anybody seen any meetings or
No more
anything
movement
happen?
on that?
No more movement? And Eva already spoke about the haystacks. That's everything I have under old business.
It looks like the one Main Street's got sold on it, so that thing's definitely gonna move ahead.
My husband went and did breakfast.
What are they planning on? 3 houses?
There's a, I don't think it's a preservation restriction, but there are restrictions where there can only be 3.
Right.
Plus, if they knock his down, that's 4. so.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Going to be interesting.
So,
What else did you think about?
all right, new business. Anybody have anything under new business? Other than Lon's gonna give a report after that. I think that's it.
Yeah, nope.
That's it. Okay, Lon is going to give us an update on Lower Green Historic District meeting.
Right, okay, so we met last night, actually until 9:45 before I got home. So it was quite a long meeting, a lot of discussion going on. We had pretty much, except for the Kinneys, because they were out of town, we had everybody surrounding the green here represented. They were all there. We had 2 selectmen, JR and
Alicia.
Yeah.
Right, and who else? Well, it was run really well. We had notes. I remember the thing that it's right here. This thing that Jan had come up with. I went through that and made the 10 steps, and then handed that out to everybody. The process of what it takes to get through that, just to remind everybody, and circle the point where the select board has to get involved. They have to set up a study committee. So we have to show interest, we have to, as the citizens, we have to show interest, we have to encourage them to do this. The plan is, rather than putting them on the spot to propose it, the plan is that the group, the citizens group, will write a letter, all the homeowners saying they're bought in on setting up a local historic district. And would the selectmen board please put this on the agenda for their next meeting and set up a study committee. That's the first step, the first official step. Everything before that is just the people that are interested in having it happen. But the first official step is the board setting it up. So each one of those will get that. We'll request to be on the agenda. We'll probably go into that meeting and give little presentations during it, and then hopefully the select board will assign someone or whatever they're going to do to get this done. There are a whole bunch of regulations. We have to have an architect on this committee. You have to have a realtor on the committee, or they recommend it at least. And you have to have somebody from, I think, Mass Historical has to be on it, or sponsor.
Really?
And we said, well, couldn't we have a local historic district?
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what they're going to do. It's quite specific what has to be done.
Good.
And then once that's the first step. Once that gets set up, then they'll lay out what they're going to do, put together a schedule, and then the citizens group that was there trying to do this, volunteered their time. They'll help be arms and legs, like for gathering descriptions of the houses and all the other things that need to be done. So we're willing to assist this survey, the study committee in putting it together. And then it's all specified going down the line. They eventually do a report. It's goes out to the public, it can comment, it gets submitted to Mass Historical, it comes back, goes back and forth a couple times. When it's finalized, to put the bylaw in there, send it off to the committee, to the select board, and then it goes to town meeting and requires a 2/3 vote. And the plan is, I know, good luck. Well, this is why I made a really strong statement. I said, this has got to be this is preservation of the Lower Green. This is the Lower Green local historic district. We're trying to save this. We're not trying to impinge on anybody's rights to do what they want to do with their house.
Yeah.
It's just this, and every homeowner that's in this thing is signed off and are willing to put the thing in the title and on their deed. So everybody is willing to do it. We're trying to protect the land, we're trying to protect the school, and we're trying to protect the viewscape. And we'll probably get, I have to get something from the Greenbelt on this too, I'm sure. That
Oh,
won't be a
yeah, I
problem.
would think they'd want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, they would, yeah, because that's their access to the property.
Yeah.
Interesting, it has to go to town meeting. Is that because of the town
It's a
property?
bylaw, no, it's a bylaw.
Bylaw for who?
For the town to set up a local historic district. And once, we've never had one.
It's
And
a
once you
district.
set one up, then this, and then after it's set up, after it passes, then you need a board. It's called the it's called the Local Historic District Committee, I think. And it requires 4 people, and then they're the ones that, for the city, monitor, make sure everything's done correctly, and this sort of thing.
Is it people that live within the area? Is it supposed to be like?
No, well, it can be whatever the selectmen want.
Gotcha.
I'm sure people here would volunteer, but they'll
But I'm wondering
pick
if that would
somebody.
be a conflict.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. That's why I was like, is it somebody
I
else
want to
or
paint my
is
house
it?
purple, you know, and,
A purple's okay.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about paint.
okay,
No, nothing
It's
about paint.
just to make
It's-
sure you're not.
And we're not gonna talk about the back porch.
yeah.
This is the view
Yeah, three
From here.
3 sides.
view from here.
So-
And we're not, and if, every time you put a column in, it rots out, put a fiberglass one and paint it white.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're not gonna go crazy with this thing so that, well, they're very much into restoration and this sort of thing, but very concerned that there are too many restrictions on us. So we're gonna try to keep it as loose as we can while still providing the
So if we
protection.
have to have a district commission, then we already have one district, then we should have a district commission
That's-
now.
That's what my.
We don't have one.
We don't have one, but I guess
We don't
should
have a local historic commission, a district.
We
We do.
have a green.
Yeah, we're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not a local historic district.
What is it?
Why
No,
does
It's
it?
historic, something or other.
It's some other term.
It's another term, it's not a local historic
I don't
district,
think I have it.
guaranteed.
I have it.
But here's the beauty, once we get a committee set up,
Too many
we
options.
can add the upper green to it.
No, I.
And the same
believe it.
committee.
So, oh, all right, well, that's
We've just never
good.
had one.
That's good, so we're not reinventing the wheel for every spot, right?
It's got a different name, whatever, it's not a local historic district, though, whatever it is.
Interesting.
Probably
And
because
actually-
nobody's given it the right name. It's a federal historic district, I know that.
It is.
And you can't get
It's
the federal.
designated as a historic district, which is completely different, you can still tear a house down.
No, we could, well, we got to
There's
figure this out because
there's
if
no
you deal with
protection
it.
at all.
It's just
It's
a
a law.
green historic district.
It's an honorary title.
No, this is,
No, I think it's registered
it
with
is, it's registered.
Massachusetts Historical Commission.
Maybe.
Yep.
Well, that
But it
was
doesn't-
like
doesn't
keep it
mean
going
that-
for us, get like one thing done.
It's like a little reward you get when you win the grade
But there's,
school.
Yeah.
but there's a packet that has all the information, just like you're doing for this, for here. There's a
In
packet.
Macris.
In
It's in
Macris, the
Macris.
whole, for the upper green. I got that Macris here.
I don't argue that. I'm just telling you it's not a local historic district.
Well, jeez, I thought it was.
Or if it is, Newbury doesn't know about it.
Well, that's probably the case.
Yeah.
That's the case.
So I don't think
That's
that's
the
true
case,
anyway.
because it is,
It's a historic district.
hmm.
It is not a local historic district, which is, it's got certain, it's the only thing in this state that you have, you can do with property that has teeth. That you can actually stop somebody from doing something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're pushing a house down, we could stop it for 9 months, but
Right.
oops.
Well, that's for me. to
No,
get to
no,
you.
I know.
Yeah.
There it is, there's
I didn't bring them yet. I go,
the National Register of Historic Places.
Yep.
That's the packet
yep,
for the upper green.
this is on it too. And 7th Avenue. And-
Oh, really?
and,
Wow,
he's got covenants on that keep him from modifying the house. So.
Next.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but that was the meeting. And it was
Oh,
good.
interesting.
And I thought it was very
Yeah,
well handled.
thank you,
and it
yeah.
was- And our selectmen that were there were
It's encouraging that everyone's.
very, very, very supportive.
ahead.
Yeah, very supportive. Encouraged us to go ahead.
Oh, that's my phone. What time is it? Oh, God, I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's definitely classified as a National Historic
That's right.
District,
Yep.
checked. Mm. Newbury Historic District is located in the center of Newbury, in the town of Newbury. Newbury Historic District composed of 40 structures spanning the centuries. Looking for keywords here.
Keyword is local.
The oldest house is the Tristan Coffin House.
Let's see, it's differentiates. Okay.
House.
I like the description of gas station.
Oh, really? The old gas station, you mean?
Yeah, noises.
Benedict Arnold.
I thought I remember reading it in here, differentiating.
I think I have that. No. Is this it? Here we are, you here.
Look at you, whipping them all out.
What is it?
The difference between the national.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. That's probably where I read it. I know I read it, but I thought it was in this thing. I remember, what's his name, Chris Scully, telling us that the only, being in a national historic district has no teeth, and the only way to really protect property and buildings is for the local.
Oh, yeah, that's the same. Channing, this tells you the difference right here.
Okay. You get a certificate here. State Preservation Officer certificate evaluating the significance of the property within the state is local. Certified to nominate the property for the inclusion in National Register.
That's the same as the said tap on the National Register.
National. Registration cards. The Newbury map calls it the Newbury Historic District.
Well, it's definitely the most official one that we have. Yeah. So in theory, the one that you're creating for down here should be able to piggyback off of that one. No? Has to be its own entity.
It's like saying my dog, I don't need a license for my cat because my dog has one.
Okay, good point.
They're different. They're no, it's more of an honorary thing. You submit and you get accepted into this
All right,
register.
that makes sense.
But there's no protection underneath it. There's no oversight or anything like this that's required.
Right.
They're
all their own.
these guys have to monitor what's going on and stuff that's passed through them.
Once it's established, right? Once you do have it established, can you turn it into a local to give it more teeth?
I don't think so. Well, of course you can. In fact, that's what I was just saying. Once you get this one established,
Yeah.
and once we've got a commission or a committee to oversee it, you can use the same committee for another site.
But another new site.
Yeah, we won't be advertising.
But isn't it the same as a house? You can't get the house on the federal register until it's on the state register.
Okay.
Right.
So if this is a state historic district, it's obviously by that certificate I just read, it's a federal historic acknowledged, certified, and stamped district. Wouldn't it have to have been a state historic district first?
How long ago did they do it?
Oh, it's back in
I
the
haven't
70s.
done any reading on state or federal,
Date on here.
national historic districts.
Probably back when they were doing the urban renewal.
This says 75. I'm not sure if it's
You know,
dated.
did you ever watch that video?
No,
Oh, we gotta watch that video.
okay.
Yeah, back in 75.
It,
Anyway, but like I said, once this one's set up, if they wanted to do that with the upper one,
mhm.
now, there could be a lot of pushback on that because it includes an awful lot of houses and buildings. Here, everybody that's gonna be in it here is gonna sign something saying, I'm
Yeah,
okay
they're all
with this.
collected with it.
How many
Yeah.
houses down here?
Oh,
6.
well, 1, 2, 3, Kathy would probably be in it, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something
That's amazing.
Not everybody was there, but most people were. The
Kenny's.
Toll House didn't make it, and these guys were out of town.
Yeah.
And nobody showed up from the Little House, that they're caretakers there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then we didn't notify Greenbelt because it didn't make any sense and they wouldn't have sent anybody.
Right.
And then I'd love to get the Willett House, they recommend not saying this half of the street's a historic district and this isn't, but you got some old houses on this
Yeah.
side and you got ones that aren't done yet on the other
You
side
mean
of the
that
street.
Jackman house?
What's it?
That Jackman house?
Yeah, what did I say?
Yeah, Willie.
Oh, sorry, well, that's what they were calling it last night, the Willett House.
My husband's like ninth great grandfather built the house, Jackman.
Well, which one, I'm thinking of the second one down, not the one on the corner.
Right,
Oh, okay, that's,
that used to be on Newman Road.
oh,
He dragged it up here when he became ferryman in 1703.
no.
Yeah, that was just all discovered before the book was written 2 years ago.
Well, anyway, this is the study committee will draw a line.
Around the
And-
properties
and
that are involved.
We're gonna encourage them to
Yeah.
draw.
You're gonna need some kind of a map for the application and.
Yes.
properties and all that.
Well, then you gotta have a description of the houses,
Yeah.
like Jennifer said, for each one, that's gonna be included in there.
And each
like half these houses,
Each
about
homeowner
50.
has to do that on their own, right? The Macris listings?
And that'll be easy from the houses we want to include, because everybody wants to set this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, I think everybody there, well, everybody does know that they need to do that to theirs. The one I've got isn't sufficient for my house. But there's something in there. I've looked at it, I just don't remember what, but I've got the history of the house, I'll put that all in there.
So for your next meeting, like Hamilton did the Macris listings, they hired a subcontractor. A company to come in and help write the listings.
Oh,
So there's such a thing out there.
Who those people are? Yeah, because we were like lost where to start.
well, that would be up to the individuals themselves.
So Who do we know, is your dad still on that commission?
No.
Do you know anybody?
Oh, we just asked, we just sent
Reach out to them?
sent email to
Yeah.
the historic commission. They've got two, they've got a commission and a district.
Is that-
Yeah, basically, I mean, this meeting, steps 1, 2, and 3, I didn't bring a list of that. Steps 1, 2, and 3, basically, are all incorporated into one meeting. Because we had the selectmen there, we had the property owners there, and they were all informed. And we had a meeting and decided to go ahead with the thing after everybody talked. Because the next step is to get the select board involved, because they have to take the step after that. And they set up the study committee, and then the study committee goes away and spins its wheels for 16 months. And then comes back. So, I mean, they're saying a year and a half. They're saying here 12 months, but from what we hear, it's more like 18. So, and then you gotta pass the vote. Which is gonna be the hard part, I think, which would be sad after 2 years worth of work.
Yeah.
That's why we wanna keep it as restricted as we can. It's all about protecting the green, and that's it. We're not trying to build some kind of kingdom.
Should be doable.
I hope so. Well, we certainly can get all the paperwork done.
Right.
The vote is the trick.
What was your final count on the house I was reading?
I came up with 10,
Yeah.
and, you know, again,
Give or take a few that he wants to.
well, yeah, like if we get the next house down or a couple of house down,
Yeah.
and this way on 1A would be nice.
All right.
But again, we're not going to include them if they say no,
Yeah,
because that's just.
Pointless, right? You have to be all
Well, if
or
you're
nothing.
going to go to the town meeting, we want
Right.
to say everybody in this thing has said
Yeah.
yes, and is pushed to get it.
Makes sense. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
and the Macris card for this building's already done, right?
Must be.
Never looked.
Certainly a question, it must be, but we need to check it. And this probably should be, there should be a Macris card for the monument out front. Because it's not over the buildings.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I just told you, there must be 5 that's listed here, right?
So the ball's in our court right now as the citizens group
Yeah,
to get a letter out to each of the selectmen. And somebody's already volunteered to write it, and we'll all make comments on it, I guess. And then we're all going to sign it and send it to each one of the selectmen. And JR is going to talk to Tracy this week about that, or this week or next week, whenever he gets into the office.
so as they're doing their house research, they should at least
What is the,
look at the national requirements. So they don't have to do their research twice.
Yeah.
If there's an additional
Kills
5 pieces of information that you need for national,
I don't know that we're going after any national thing.
uh,
It goes to the state
Yeah.
historic commission.
yeah.
And then it comes back here for a vote after they've given thumbs up. Goes back here, we vote, and it's in. I don't see any national reporting. requirements. But there's nothing wrong with getting it
Yeah.
on, why not? You've got all
Why
the
not?
information.
Yeah.
Put it on the national register
they want a
too.
number.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea. If we look at that while
Yeah,
we're
while you're
going
doing
along.
it.
That's
Okay.
pretty much what everybody does. so.
Yeah.
Get both.
The monument's on there, but not, you don't see the schoolhouse.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. That's a real good idea.
What's,
If you
what
got
is
people
the number of the
spinning their wheels.
schoolhouse? What number? High road is this?
Like, what's the address?
Yeah,
We're Here, 281, 79, 77.
Yeah, but the
no, it's the
schoolhouse.
schoolhouse.
Oh, schoolhouse?
Does it have an address?
I'd be surprised if it does, but it might. I don't know.
It's a very good question.
And would it be High Road or would
It's not on a
it be?
handy map.
Well, it's probably, the address is probably Lower Green.
Yeah, it's schoolhouse, Little Green, that's
It's
it.
not on here.
I've never seen an address for it. And again, would it be Newman Road or would it be High Road? I don't know. Or this thing's actually got a name to it. I can't remember what it is now.
Is it
The
on the
gravel.
maps?
Oh, it's on it. In fact, they show it going down my driveway. And it's with the same name. So anybody driving out of here, if they looked at Google Maps,
Yeah, like
they
they would drive right
goes
into
into
your.
my yard.
That's funny. There's a weird little like non-existent road next to our neighbors.
This road goes way out way back, 16 something.
I took it on clear for a minute. I was just gonna look and see
It
What
doesn't
it's
have like a
called.
name, yeah.
what it's called, I just forget. It's called Lower Green.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh, this one doesn't, oh, that's interesting. They fixed it.
Oh, good.
It used to say Lower Green over here and Lower Green into my driveway. Is this Google Maps? Yeah, it is.
Lower Green Road or something, or?
It just says Lower Green.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Lower Green. And I think that it used to say Lower Green Road.
Interesting. Let's Google.
Let's see what you call Microsoft says. Or whatever Apple.
Well, it was Google that sent the college students into the swamp on the end of Forest Street.
There's been a lot of times when people have followed it.
There's Apple Maps.
Yeah.
Lower Green, and it stops.
Yeah.
And the old map used to go right down into my driveway, and it had Lower Green down in my driveway too. The name.
I forget the name of the road, like it's my friend's, or our neighbor's driveway, but like on the map, it looks like a road going up into their yard.
But I had it in my parking lot. Oh, it's gone. Here it is.
Parked car, that's not.
Our car in my driveway.
Anyways.
All right, that's it.
Is that it?
I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything before the board tonight?
I think so.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second that one.
No,
Oh, wait,
I'll make it.
All right, Lon made the motion, Rebecca seconded, all in favor?
Uh,
We adjourned at 7:56.